Howdy, y'all. It's Reese, aka Bearman Prime, on this September 28th. Welcome back to my Read the Bible in a Year series, and thanks again for joining me. God bless you all. Part of the top right hand corner for the rest of the playlist. And if you're enjoying the series, please hit that like button, subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so you stay caught up. I really do appreciate it. All right, so Jesus has now been buried in the tomb by Joseph of Arimathea. The Pharisees have gone to Pilate requesting additional security so that no one can come and claim his body and say that he did actually rise from the grave. They have sealed it best they can. They put guards all around it. There's no way anyone on earth can get in or out of that place. So let's see what happens with that. Let's go to John chapter 20 today and start in verse 1. Early on Sunday morning, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene went to the tomb. She saw that the large stone was moved away from the entrance. So she ran to Simon Peter and the other follower, the one Jesus loved very much. She said, "They have taken the Lord out of the tomb, and we don't know where they put him." So Peter and the other follower started going to the tomb. They were both running, but the other follower ran faster than Peter and reached the tomb first. He bent down and looked in. He saw the pieces of linen cloth lying there, but he did not go in. Then Simon Peter finally reached the tomb and went in. He saw the pieces of linen lying there. He also saw the cloth that had been around Jesus' head. It was folded up and laid in a different place from the other pieces of linen. Then the other follower went in, the one who had reached the tomb first. He saw what had happened and believed. These followers did not yet understand from the scriptures that Jesus must rise from death. Verse 10. Then the followers went back home, but Mary stood outside the tomb, crying. While she was crying, she bent down and looked inside the tomb. She saw two angels dressed in white sitting where Jesus' body had been. One was sitting where the head had been, the other was sitting where the feet had been. The angels asked Mary, "Woman, why are you crying?" Mary answered, "They took away the body of my Lord, and I don't know where they put him." When Mary said this, she turned around and saw Jesus standing there, but she did not know that it was Jesus. He asked her, "Woman, why are you crying? Who are you looking for?" She thought he was the man in charge of the garden. So she said to them, "Did you take him away, sir? Tell me where you put him. I will go and get him." Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned toward him and said in Aramaic, "Rabboni," which means teacher. Jesus said to her, "You don't need to hold on to me. I have not yet gone back up to the Father. But go to my followers and tell them this: I am going back to my Father and your Father. I am going back to my God and your God." Mary Magdalene went to the followers and told them, "I saw the Lord!" And she told them what he had said to her. There you go. How could it be anything but God? The rock was wedged in there. There were guards all around, and yet on Sunday morning, which is the day we celebrate Easter, Mary Magdalene goes to the tomb. And there are no guards, and the stone has been moved. No man could have done that, right? And she's spooked. Saw that the stone had been moved away. She didn't even poke her head in, so she runs and finds Peter and John and says, "They've taken him. He's gone." So they run. They're running. They're running. John gets there first. He looks in. Sure enough, there's no body. And his burial clothes, the pieces of cloth that were literally wrapped around his corpse, are just lying there on the little stone bed. And then Peter gets there. He looks in. He sees the same thing. And then he also sees the special cloth that was wrapped around his head. And it was neatly folded up and placed on the bed. This is just way bizarre, man. And they could not make sense of it at all. They didn't know what was going on. They still didn't understand what Jesus had told them, that he would rise from death. Okay, it wasn't their time yet. It's coming, but it wasn't their time yet. And so they're just like, we're just gonna go home. We don't know what to do. He's gone. And they leave Mary there, poor Mary, just sobbing, weeping. Her teacher, her beloved teacher, her Lord is missing, is gone. And she fears he's gone for good. Then the angels come in. The angels are sitting there, and they ask her, "Why are you crying?" In other accounts, in other gospels, the angels say, "This is a place for the dead, but Jesus is alive. He's not here." But still, she doesn't realize what they're saying. She doesn't realize that he's not dead anymore. And then someone else comes, and Mary thinks it's the gardener, like, the groundskeeper of the place. And this person asks her, "Who are you looking for?" And Mary is just begging, "Where have they taken him? Where have they taken Jesus? Please tell me, and I will go get him." And all Jesus has to do is just say, "Mary." And instantly, she recognizes him. Rabboni, teacher. And then now she understands. Now she believes, and she immediately runs back to the other apostles and tells them what happened. And imagine you're in Mary's shoes. How would you be feeling? She's probably overjoyed, in shock, and just completely overwhelmed all at once, and scared, right? Here she sees a man she loved very much, she thought was dead, she saw die and was buried, is now standing before her alive, perfectly. Is he a ghost? Is this a trick? What is this? It's the Lord, right? Well, that's all for today. We'll pick it up there tomorrow and see what happens after that. Thanks again for joining me. I sure do appreciate it. I'll see y'all tomorrow.